Merry Christmas! Hello, hello. It is Christmas Day. We are releasing this audio version. If you are a listener, you are listening to this early in the morning because it was released earlier today. And if you are a watcher, you are watching this evening. So I hope you have had the best Christmas ever. Should I start singing? I don't know. I'm a terrible singer. What's your favorite Christmas song? Because this is the last day we'll be listening to it. Mine, of course, is In Sync. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Merry Christmas. I won't continue because I'm a terrible singer, but get all that Christmas music in. Are you full from so many meals today? Did you get the gifts that you really wanted? Did you have the best time with your family today? I hope it's been a wonderful day. Of course, we are recording this early in advance, so I'm hoping for a great Christmas, but I hope you've had a wonderful day. We are actually recording this on Kenny's 2-year anniversary with Rogers, so happy anniversary, Kenny. You wouldn't be watching this today if it weren't for him. So big thanks to everything that Kenny has done for Rogers, for the podcast, and for all of us. He's just made me a better person. So thank you, Kenny. And I'm looking at you right now. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And, I have thought for the last few days what I want to talk about today. We decided that we're going to do this. This is the last podcast episode of the year. So I've thought a lot about what is 2025 going to be like? And I know this year we've talked a lot about 2024 and goals and all of those things. And instead of talking about kind of what I want in the new year, we'll talk about that later. I want to reflect back on 2024. And it being Christmas Day, I've talked to a lot of people in the last couple of weeks. How, are you excited about Christmas? And are you in the spirit? And I wanted to take some time to talk about people that, I've talked to some people recently that say they're not excited about Christmas. And it made me realize that although it's a very special day every year, it's hard on a lot of people. And there's a lot of loss that's talked about during this time. A couple of individuals I've talked to said, they weren't looking forward to Christmas this year because it was their first Christmas without a loved one there. And Christmas was, so special to them, and they didn't get to experience with them this year. And so I want to send a heartfelt message out to anyone today that, I'm coming on here saying I hope you had the best day, but I understand there are a lot of people out there that have experienced a loss this year, and Christmas is just not the same as it has been in the past. And my heart goes out to you. It made me think about loss. And it's like, wow, although 2024 has been a huge year for the podcast, and it's been a huge year for Rogers, and we talk about all of these great things that are always happening, there's a lot of loss that we've experienced too this year. A lot of loss that I've experienced this year. I've been lucky enough, to have my family around me and the support system of, Rogers Heating and Cooling and the team here. And although, gratefully, I didn't experience a loss of a loved one like many of you have that are listening this year, I think every single one of us can think of the losses that we've had this year, whether it be the loss of an opportunity that you really wanted, the loss of yourself. Have you ever lost yourself and looked in the mirror and said, who am I? Who is this person I'm looking at? The loss of a friend, the loss of a loved one, the loss of a pet. And we go through these things, and the grieving process is still the same for all of those things. We want to achieve great things, but it doesn't always happen the way we want it to. And so for me this year, I've lost a lot of opportunities looking back. There are a lot of things that I had planned for 2024 that I didn't accomplish, or it didn't work out for me. And sitting through that, and although I've overcome it now, it doesn't mean I don't still think about it. It doesn't mean that It doesn't still hurt a little bit. I'm still thinking about it now. I've lost a pet this year. That was really hard. And it was the first time I've ever had to go through the process of letting go of a pet. So anyone that knows me, I had Flex, who was my dog, right out of college. The day I graduated from Radford, I said, you know what, I'm going into the real world and I need to get a pet. I need a companion. I need something to love on because I didn't know where I was going to end up. And so Flex came into my life as a puppy, and he lived a very great 14 years. He would have been 15 this February, and was just a companion for my entire family for many years because I ended up moving home. And so my whole family was surrounded with Flex for many years. And he's, when the day we had to put him down just a few weeks ago, all I could think about was how much he was with me through so many challenges in my life, so many lonely moments, so many moments of loss. He was with me. And so that was a very hard moment. And this another thing making me think about loss and having to go through the holidays, without loved ones, because he was very much part of the family. So that was tough. And like I said, losing opportunities. And this is business. Business can be very, very lonely. Running the business can be very lonely. And you lose a lot of people in your life. And it's been very hard to navigate this year because we have grown a lot. But through that process, I will be very transparent with you today. You lose great team members, and you lose great people in your life that you wish were still here or had to go for opportunities outside of here. That's hard. That is never an easy thing to do, and I don't want anyone to ever think that it is. And owning a business, those things happen and you have to move on because you have others that depend on you. But it doesn't make that loss any easier. And it still stings. And I know I've talked a lot about gut punches this year, and there have been a lot of those. And then, you deal with the loss of yourself sometimes because when things get very challenging in life, you question what you're doing. It's like, what am I doing? And so there have been multiple phases throughout the year where I question, what am I doing? If any of you own a business, I promise you will relate when I say there are moments in time where I'm like, is this worth it? Why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? And let's be honest, there are some really not nice people out there, and they try to come after you. And that's not an easy thing to navigate, but I have to, like I said in last week's episode, I feel like everyone is good at the core. I feel like people are good at the core. I think there are some that like to see others fail, but I hope that they come around someday and realize that the more negative you are, the worse things are for everyone. So why not just be positive? But I've also talked to individuals that have people in their life that are trying to hurt them in different ways. And it hurts me because I've felt that before. We've all been through that before, and it's never a good feeling. And so my message to all of you out there is you're not alone. And if you are, in a situation where you feel like you're being attacked in a certain way, whether it be friends, family, people in the community, just know that there is another side, and you will get through it. And I'm a firm believer in what's meant to be will be. And I wish all of these people out here that like to come after certain individuals that, they come around one day and just be nice. Can we all just be nice and love each other? It's Christmas, right? Can we just all get along and love each other? But it's been tough in a lot of different situations, but I want you to know that a lot of what gets me through those situations and the tough times is you guys. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting here. I feel like I have a community of people that tune in every single week, and they want to learn more about the community. They want to learn more about goals and what others are doing. And I want to do the same. And I want to continue giving back to the community, and I want to keep sharing that with you. And it makes me feel a little less lonely, because it can be very isolating sometimes in the role that I'm in and I've chosen to be in. So no one feel bad for me. Please don't. This is not meant for anyone to feel bad for me, because I don't want that at all. I am just being honest today, and I have chosen this path. But it doesn't mean it doesn't come with sacrifice and loneliness and sadness and anger and all of those things. I'm human at the end of the day, and it's you guys that help me get through it, because I still get in front of this camera every single day. It doesn't matter what people say to me or about me or try to do to the organization or anyone else here. I get very protective, and I want to continue sharing the stories with everyone and what's going on here, because I want to be transparent and I want you to learn more about the community. So I just want everyone to know that it's Christmas, and it's supposed to be the most joyous day of the year. And I hope that you have had the best Christmas ever. And for those that are struggling today and struggling during this time, my heart goes out to you, because it's not easy. And if you ever want to talk or, share your story, I'm here, because there are times that you just need a friend. And I want you to know that you have a friend through this podcast, and that we're here for you, and we're thinking about you, and hoping that you can find some joy in today. Something going into 2025, next week, we have a very big announcement happening, and it is related to the podcast. And I just want to know, if you've made it this far through this episode of me just rambling on, what do you think it is? Leading up to this has been in the works for a couple months now. And we have been behind the scenes working really hard. And I can't say it yet, and I hate doing this, but the first episode of the year, you will know. But it has been an honor to work on what we've been working on. It is so exciting for the future of the podcast. Hint, hint. What do you think it's going to be? Any ideas? Any ideas of what is to come for the podcast? I'd love to hear. Just think back, and think back to how we open every podcast. What does that mean? Hint, 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 hint. Do you know? But the announcement's coming, so I'm so excited about that. You're going to love everything that's getting ready to happen, and this couldn't happen without you. So, buckle up, because 2025 is going to be a fantastic year, full of ups and downs and crisscrosses. And I hope that you spend this day enjoying your day, but also beginning to think about next year and what you want to do and what you want to achieve and how you want to find yourself again, if that's what it is, and prepare yourself for what is to come, because we never know, and life is short, and we all have to enjoy it and embrace it. And it's a beautiful thing if you can embrace the ups and downs. So, big announcement to come next week. Be sure to tune in. And if you think you know what it is, please comment, because I may be able to give you something really cool if you guess what it is. So I have some really cool stuff on the way, and I would love to share it with you. So comment what you think the big announcement is, and I'll be sure to hook you up with something really cool. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Rogers Radio Podcast, and have a fantastic rest of your day, rest of the week, rest of the year, all of the things. We will see you next year, 2025. Continue rating, reviewing, subscribing, comment. I'm for real. I have a gift for you. And we'll see you next week.